Alright guys, this is important. I'm still going to keep talking about this for a little bit because I'm trying to get into the ear of the right people, like members of Congress and others who speak to those folks, that Dr. James Lacatski needs to testify. So you saw my last video. I actually did leave a question for Eric Burleson. No, that's Congressman Eric Burleson. And he kind of flubbed it, in my opinion. I don't know if he was trying to dodge it. I kind of joked that maybe these guys are in on it too. They don't want the truth out and they're just acting like they are trying to get it out. But maybe he just didn't understand my question. So I try to give him the benefit of the doubt. But I don't know, I'm just seeing a lot more inconsistencies with members of Congress about this topic. But let's avoid that for now and talk about this. So I'm going to try to pitch this. I'm going to keep pitching this. Why Dr. Lacatski needs to testify to Congress. Again, for a fuller context, check out the last video. But they don't want him to testify because, he's going to just say what he has in his book or say what he has already said. That's what Eric Burleson has said. And it's kind of concerning, too, that he's like, I think we, he says, I think we a couple of times in different interviews. Like, it's either you know or you don't know. Don't try to, it just tells me they're not working hard enough. They're not strategizing. And I said in a comment somewhere that, just, guys, I'll work for free. Have me on your team. Let me strategize for you. There is a way to go about this that I think would be extraordinarily powerful. Certainly more powerful than the almost nothing. I don't want to say they're doing nothing, but as far as the public view, the nothing that's going on right now. I mean, they're talking about no more hearings, possibly, even though one other congressman said that there's going to be a hearing maybe early this year or late December. This was weeks ago when you said that, but it contradicts what others have said. So that's why there's so many inconsistencies. That's why I say that. But anyway, I'm trying to make the case that these three guys should testify. I mean, at the very least, Dr. James Lacatski, get him on the record to say what he has said already. I don't give a dang if he has to read from his book. I don't care. Stop being so short-sighted about this. So UAP James was kind of the one that kicked off this idea. I posted the link for his Twitter post in my last video. I'll try to put it in this video as well. It's a bit long. Actually, I think I did save it. Right here. I mean, like I said, it's a bit long, but it's very, very important. But we're not going to talk about that right now. We're just going to talk about this. So I was curious because I kind of didn't know a whole lot about Christopher Mellon. There's a lot of cast of characters in this whole UAP business. There's a lot of people. And I have a bad memory. Sometimes it's hard to remember, okay, who's this guy again? But these three guys did work together. So, and this is what you need to pitch to the American public. These guys worked in an official government program with your tax dollars about UAP. And what did they recover? Well, yeah, sure, they can't say everything, but he has already stated, Lacatski, some very interesting things like breaching the hull. He got inside the ship, and he said some other very interesting things. David Grush, the star witness of the 2023 hearing, said stuff that he said already in his News Nation interview. Sorry. He even says that during the hearing, he has to repeat, as I already stated in my News Nation interview, blah, blah, blah. And that was the star witness. And it's funny because that same interview where I asked that question to Eric Burleson, he even talks about that later on, how he was the star witness and, he even hired him for a staffer of his. But, how important he was, how important his testimony was, but he just repeated stuff that he already said. I think Dr. James Lacatski has potential if you work it right. I made a post. I did save the text. Maybe I'll just post that text down below later. Actually, I think I'll do that. I left it on a different podcast. I want to say Psychoactivio maybe is where I left that. But yeah, it's kind of my pitch. I'll leave that down below. But what was I going to say? I forgot where I was going. That happens. But yeah, let me just read this though. Let's just get along with it, and I'm sure I'll have a lot to say. But so they all worked within the U.S. government on programs that investigated unidentified aerial phenomena. And Dr. James Lacatski was a physicist at the Defense Intelligence Agency who originally led the Advanced Aerospace Weapon System Applications Program, ALSAP, the precursor to ATIP. He helped initiate the government's formal investigation into UAPs after Project Blue Book was closed in 1969. So again, this is all official government stuff. So you pitch that to the American public. You tell them, look directly into the camera as if you're looking right into the eyes of the public during this hearing. I think that's what I was trying to say. Like, Lacatski has potential to be a much bigger, influential witness to influence disclosure because he's going to be speaking to the American public. He has been there. Like, no offense to David Grush, he has all these whistleblowers and stuff, but he wasn't actively working on these different things. It's like he didn't see stuff himself, although the more recent interview he gave on Fox News indicates that he has seen some stuff. So I don't know if he's seen something in between the hearing and now, but whatever. But he's a first-hand witness, James Lacatski is. But you got to tell the American public. Like, I think most people don't even know that these programs existed. Anyway, Jay Stratton. So my thing is that, like, you get these guys to testify. Not just James Lacatski, but you also get Jay Stratton. Now, Dr. James Lacatski has said, I think, in a recent Weaponized podcast that he would be willing to go under oath and testify, which is a reversal of what he has said before. And I think it's weird because it's like, I think Eric doesn't know that. Like, again, are they even looking into it? Are they even trying? Are they even strategizing? Anyway, Jay Stratton was a highly decorated intelligence officer who helped start ATIP, worked closely with its director, Lou Elizondo, and then took over leadership of the program after Elizondo resigned in 2017. And there's more to that. But Jay Stratton, he said some interesting stuff too. He worked in the program, and he has said on Age of Disclosure on the trailer to it, you don't even have to watch the film. I didn't watch it yet. But he said that he has seen non-human bodies and non-human craft. He worked on the program. How do you not think about getting these guys? Even if they just reiterate what they have said already. But hey, I'm willing to go through Dr. James Lacatski's book, because I know Eric is like, oh, he said that he won't say anything outside of what he wrote down in his book already. So what? I don't care. You gotta, I know some people have issues with books, like, oh, they wrote a book, they're after money. They're not making diddly squat on this stuff. Trust me. And there's nothing wrong with making something off of, writing the book either, but that's a whole other thing. They're certainly not getting rich, but so what? You get him just to read excerpts from his book. Ask him, hey, do you want to tell the American public that what you said still remains true? You're still going to be committed to saying this and putting it under oath that we have breached the whole. You said that on the podcast, something like that. And I just have a whole bunch of ideas. But anyway, so yeah, that's kind of just a quick background of those three guys. I think you should get all three of them on. You already had Lou Elizondo. Heck, get him to come again if need be. But yeah, get these three guys. You need to make known to the American public who doesn't even know that these programs existing. I know that Lou Elizondo already testified, but you need to even strategize in the name of the hearing. I think you should really go hard with this. That is for the public to know all of this stuff. And that will put pressure on politicians now that the public is made more aware of it. And the politicians will have to say something. Anyway, I want to play. This is a kind of an end of the year review type of thing on Weaponized. They're just talking about James Lacatski, and again, this is just kind of my pitch reasons why we need to have him testify. It's just kind of a few tidbits here and there.
So we'll see in the years to come. I think if we keep pushing and making sure the facts and people come forward. For example, Dr. Lacatski, oh my gosh, in 2024, he admitted that our government is in possession of a UFO. I mean, absolutely clear. He said it. He is the top-ranking guy that we've heard from. He was the boss of Jay Stratton, as far as I know. He was the boss of Lou Elizondo, depending on how much Lou actually worked with that program. So this is a guy who's at the top of the heap when it comes to UFO people talking, people from the inside. But this year, he admitted that not only do we have a possession of a UFO, that Kona Blue, which was a program we didn't know even began, he says never ended, which was mercurial for him to say. He admitted that we have a reverse engineering program that, thus breached the hull. But he on our episode, if you play it back, he admits we have a reverse engineering program, and he also painted a target on Arrow, saying they're doing their job, that it is a counterintelligence operation. Those are.
Even just that is very important, because they did talk about Arrow at the last hearing and how they're going to subpoena Kirkpatrick, but I don't know if that's going to happen yet. But yeah, that's super important as well, and they can talk about that during the hearing.
Big words coming from a guy like him.
And again, this is meant for the American public. I mean, that should be one of the goals, right? You tell the American public the Pentagon is lying to you through Arrow. Stress hard on that.
He also did not deny that he was read in and part of a legacy UFO program before OSAP. And that one really blew me away, because when I was talking, he slipped a little thing in under his breath, talking about having a Q clearance, meaning that the DOE, Department of Energy, was somehow housing that legacy UFO program, which he did not deny that he was a part of. And so that was kind of a huge admission in 2025 if people play back the tape.
People say they want data, they want hard evidence, they want more cases, they give us the hard stuff. I'm not sure they really want that. They want something that's digestible in a tweet or a soundbite or something, because Lacatski has been laying out, together with Dr. Colin Kelleher, facts about the OSAP program, the largest admitted UFO investigation ever funded by the U.S. government, for a couple of years now. And, the second book in that series was absolutely full of data, measurable physical effects from UFO cases, and nobody read it. And this latest one, New Insights, that he's got, is filled with additional stuff that has never been made public from the OSAP program. Some of it way back that they reinvestigated. Again, people barely pay attention to it. I don't think people want to read all that much and do their own digging.
Are we willing to go through those books and be on the UAP team in Congress and help them strategize? I'll pick out the best parts of that book. We're going to sit Lacatski down during the hearing and say, okay, read this right here. Maybe you can even highlight the different things in his books. And just have him read it. And do you confirm this to be true? Because he said you will only testify to what was cleared, by the way. It was cleared. Remember that. It was cleared. That's important as well, and you make the public aware of that. That this stuff is official. You make him read it, say, do you still confirm this to be true? And he'll say, yes, of course. And yeah, there you go. You pick the best parts out. And yeah, this will move the ball forward. Like, why wouldn't it?
They like somebody to hand it to them on a silver platter, but there's a lot of information that was shared with us, made public by Dr. Lacatski for the first time. Those hints about Kona Blue are just part of it. He also, in a separate interview that I did with him for wearing my TV hat, shared information about paranormal events, in particular at the Skinwalker Ranch, but not just at Skinwalker Ranch, worldwide. People who get too close to UFOs not only have physical effects, diseases and things like that, but then they start experiencing paranormal phenomena, creatures that shouldn't exist. We also talked to David Paulides late in the year, who talked about Bigfoot being associated with UFOs, which no one wants to hear. You want to stick your fingers in your ears when something that strange comes up, but you can't deny the cases that have been reported. So, if people really want information, it's out there. You got to take the time to read it. And Dr. Lacatski was a big bang for us to sort of end the year with. And then after him came Jacques Vallée, which anytime you get any time with Jacques Vallée, that's a good day.
So expectations for 2026. I'm hoping this is the year of creatures. I'm hoping we talk about the pilots of the UAP or UFOs. But a couple things we know are going to happen. one is Jay Stratton is going to come out more publicly, and this is a guy who ran the UAP TF, right, the task force. He's had his hands in. I think people will find out. He's had his hands in the UFO topic a lot more than we've known up till now. I hope people find that out. But I am excited for Jay Stratton coming forward. I'm also excited for the movie Disclosure Day, which is a new Steven Spielberg movie. It's coming out June 12th, 2026.
Yeah, I think that's going to be interesting too with Jay Stratton. Again, you get him to testify as well. You might have to, okay, so maybe you can have him read from his book, which is, I believe, in the review process too, which will be officially cleared. He's able to say certain things. Maybe you have to wait a little bit to get him too under oath. I would suggest still putting all these guys together, but if you have to wait, then whatever. But yeah, he might have a big year this year as well. You get these guys all together. Like, why hasn't this happened before? Yeah, I'm excited when I think about this. Now, I've been ranting about this for a while, actually, but I left a comment somewhere. I saved it because I wanted to, well, first of all, I accidentally left it somewhere else, and I had to save the parts of it, put it together, and then repost it in the video I wanted to. But I'll post that comment underneath. It's just kind of my rant about this whole thing. Why they should get Lacatski, and maybe I'll say additional information there that I haven't said in this video. I've left these rants in various forms in so many different places. I'm just, people need to hear it. I don't know. It's crazy how forgetful we are in the UFO community. Because, yeah, this was talked about on UAP James's, or Joe's, UFO Joe, there's a UFO James too, but UFO Joe's Twitter page. And yeah, it seemed to get a lot of traction, but nobody's talking about it afterwards, except for me. So I tried to spread the word about what he said, give him the credit, and even leaving the link wherever possible. And it's like nobody really engages that much. I don't know. It's kind of weird, but yeah, I'm trying to reach people, trying to talk to people. I want to make this happen. And sometimes you just got to do things yourself. So please get inspired too and reach out to your lawmakers. And if there's any way else that we can do to reach out to people, I have some ideas I'm pretty excited about, but who knows? I'm just a peon. I'm a nobody, but hey, I want disclosure as a Christian. I think it's important that we have all the pieces on the table, and yeah, I'll do anything I can possibly do to get that. So join me and tell me what you guys think if you have any other ideas as well.